Hi, this is Mike Neundorfer. I'm with Advanced RV, and I'm here in our manufacturing facility. I'm here in front of a 2024 Sprinter and a 2024 Transit. We're going to talk a little bit about the comparison of the two based on things that are important to us. And maybe we'll start with Allie, and we'll talk a little bit about what we prefer in the driving position and the sight out. No question in my mind that I love the sitting up high, looking out from about here. The whole world is open. I'm sitting about as high as the tractor trailers and maybe about 6 inches below. And so it's just a really nice driving position for me, and I have lots of headroom. Allie, you probably have the same view, right?
Not exactly. I'm a little bit under 5 feet tall, so I like the Transit van because it's a little bit more of a compact cab. I can see out the windshield, see everything I need to see, and I can flip that visor down and I don't have sun in my eyes.
I guess that starts this off, that we're going to express our views and our observations. Every one of our viewers is going to have a different view, literally and figuratively. The point is that they're different and they offer different things. It's really cool though that the Transit in the last few years is now up to about the same weight capacity as the Sprinter. There have been a lot of other things technology-wise that the Transit has done. The Sprinter has too, but the Transit, there's a lot of parity between the two now that there wasn't a few years ago for a good solid motorhome.
I'm Frank. Many of you know that I am involved in the service end of the business here. So the servicing is a little different between the two. The Sprinter is a 20,000 mile service interval. The Ford is a 5,000 mile interval. So this does require more servicing over the mileage that you're driving. All Ford dealers or all Ford servicing dealers can do the service on this. On the other side with the Sprinter, there are only certain Mercedes-Benz dealerships that will do the service on the Sprinter class. So that's kind of a difference between the two that may sway your decision one way or another.
Okay, hi everybody, I'm John, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the horsepower and the differences between the engines in the two trucks. The Ford has got a gas engine. It's a 3.5 liter twin turbo, and it puts out about 310 horsepower and about 400 foot-pounds of torque. And the Mercedes has a 2 liter diesel engine, turbocharged, and it does about 211 horsepower and about 337 foot-pounds of torque. So you've got a more fuel efficient, a little bit less power, but it's a diesel, so you're going to be able to do the long distances between fill-ups. And if you want to go for something that's got a little bit more power, then you've got the Ford with the twin turbo. I'm kind of a Ford guy. I've owned 3, and I actually own a twin turbo V6, and we've got well over 100,000 on it, and it's been a really reliable vehicle for me. But these are also excellent vehicles, so I really can't pick between the two, but I like them both. So one more thing I just wanted to note was that these two trucks are both all-wheel drive, and so one is substantially higher than the other. You can notice this from the video. And just looking at the Ford, there's about 9 inches of ground clearance in the front, and the Mercedes, at its lowest point, has about 11 inches of ground clearance. Mike actually mentioned earlier that the Transit has a higher interior space. And so this is possible because this truck is a slightly lower to the ground, and it is all-wheel drive, and this is all-wheel drive also. So if you're looking at like ground clearance is a major issue, then maybe this would be the one that you'd be leaning towards.
Fuel mileage, the combined estimated fuel mileage for the Sprinter 4-wheel drive 3500 is 17.8 miles per gallon, and the Transit 3500 all-wheel drive, combined estimated EPA mileage is 13.
As we were doing a test drive, Allie and I did a side-by-side comparison of the drivability and seating comfort. Allie, being shorter than I have, found that the Transit had a more compact and comfortable driving position for her. We found the throttle response to be impressive on the Transit. Allie, who'd never driven either, pointed that out on her own. After looking at the vans on a lift myself, I have to hand the Sprinter the medal for build quality at least perceived build quality, but I just like the way the Transit drives better. It just performs smoother and has a lot more get up and go when you're trying to drive, and if you're a lead foot like I am, you notice that stuff. I invite anyone to consider a Transit for an advanced RV build, and we'll hope to meet all of your objectives. The inside of a Transit's about 79 inches at the highest point in the ceiling, and the Sprinter is going to be about 76. I'm talking sheet metal to sheet metal.
The walls in the Transit van come in about 7 inches less at the top versus the bottom than they do in the Sprinter van. So yeah, a little straighter,
More
vertical, and a little more space at the top, which is really nice.
The conclusion is that there's a lot of parity between the Sprinter, the latest Sprinter, and the latest Transit. A lot of room for personal preferences. I hope we've highlighted some of the things that you might want to consider in the raw chassis. There are a lot of more things to consider in a build, but today we're just talking about the raw chassis. So everybody's different, you'll have different preferences, and hopefully between the 5 of us, we've raised some interesting issues for you. Thanks for listening.